What's up, people? You see me? See me a little bit. Let me get a better recording setup because right now I'm using Facebook Live with Wi-Fi. This phone, for some reason, network doesn't work. Our service just doesn't work. But anyway, I was watching this video from a guy named Peter. Starts with an S. Sounds Italian. But he goes around, he does like travel vlogs basically, and the video I just watched, he went to an island on Hawaii. I forget what it's called, but it was kind of like a rural island, and the people kind of kept it like very, they called it like old Hawaii, and they're talking about all the other islands and like what happened, and they're saying like 1/3 of the island at that point was like owned by some foreign company, and they're thinking about selling a lot of the property. Like it was up for like sale for like 300 million or something like that. But like if they sold it, they're saying it would probably be for development. So that little island happened to be for ranches, stuff like that. And it was all pretty rural. Everything was chill. They said there's like no stoplights, anything. It's just like very chill. And I could see that, and I was loving it. And they actually described kind of the small town vibe that I like. It's like a small community. Everybody keeps each other, humble. It's kind of like accountability within that community. Because it's like, a big city, people can come through and you won't see them again. There's so many people. A small little community is like you're gonna see those same people over and over. So it's like you better act right, because we're gonna find you like tomorrow if you want to act funny or whatever. But so anyway, they're keeping it cool, very chill vibes. It looks like an island I would like legit live on. Like that looks like a cool place. But anyway, they're talking about Larry Ellis. He apparently bought an entire island, and they said basically what he did. They said that he first he like bought the land, I don't know, something like that, and then like bought all the houses and stuff, and then when people for whatever reason something would happen, they couldn't pay rent, he just kick them out and then just keep the island basically. And honestly, there was I forget what island it was with those big old fires. Dude, I think that was intentional, man. I really do, because I think they want that land. And even the guy in the video, he was talking about how they're keeping the like aid from entering on the road. Like they said they could like go through boats and like kind of deliver stuff, but like on the road they said I had to go through FEMA. I was like, why are you withholding like aid to these people that just got all their entire situation burned? You know what I mean? I heard a story about that for real. It was like they said traffic was being held up way up front while people way back were stuck in traffic burning. Like, are you kidding me, dude? That sounds like murder, dude. Like, straight up. I think that was intentional, and I think it's because they want the land. Because next thing you know, you hear about all these like Oprah, rich celebrities and stuff talking about, they got their little places over there, and they're like spared. That's another part. Like they're freaking big old estates on the island were spared somehow. Did you ever hear a thing about like the blue tarps on the roof or something like that? They're saying crazy stuff. They're saying like laser weapons are being used. I don't even know, but that's not even my point. My point is pretty much what Larry Ellis did. So it's the finance of it all. That's the native people's island, right? But Larry Ellis is a billionaire, the founder of Oracle. He's actually like Elon Musk's mentor, at least one of his mentors. And that's what I want to explain, is the finance of it. So that was the native people's land, but somehow he got his hands on billions and billions and billions, or billions of dollars, to be able to buy up an entire island. That's not like normal, you know what I mean? And that's something I think a lot of people don't understand, is the financial situation that actually allows something like that. And the truth be told, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, is that it starts with the monetary system. Right now, in our world, generally speaking, in every different country, we have what are called money monopolies in those countries. Every country you go to, they pretty much tell you, this is money, nothing else. And they kind of demand that you pay taxes with that type of money to make sure that, you know, people actually continue to use that money. And that's really, there's actually a history of it with fractional reserve banking. It used to be gold that people used. They brought the gold to the banks, they gave them receipts, and then people started to just trade with the receipts. So that was the first paper money. And then they realized they could just, if the bank wanted to give out a loan, instead of giving out the actual gold that people had deposited and, you know, being short on actual gold, they just gave out more receipts. So there ended up being more receipts because they gave receipts when somebody deposited, and then loans just, you know, basically claiming they had gold in reserves, and that's why it's called fractional reserve banking. But nobody ever actually came with all those receipts to, you know, redeem the gold. So there's more receipts out here saying that there's this much gold, but there's really only a fraction of that. So that's why they call it fractional reserve banking. But anyway, that was the original paper money. And then they basically adopted that as like the state currency. That's what was happening with the Federal Reserve in the United States. It was the Federal Reserve is a privately owned bank. It has member banks like Chase, Bank of America, stuff like that, that are literally given the green light to print money, which is crazy. I remember when I first heard that, that blew my mind. I was probably like 19, but anyway, it used to be, you know, the U.S. dollar, that's what they call it. It's really Federal Reserve notes, bank notes, same thing. They used to say that, you know, it could be redeemed for a certain amount of gold, and then Nixon took it off of the gold standard in the 70s. And so it became pure fiat, and that's basically where we are now. There's basically just been hyperinflation. So all these banks do, I mean, it starts with the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve lends to, you know, commercial banks that people borrow from. So they set an interest rate. Let's say it's 5%. They'll loan to a bank at 5%, and then the banks loan at like 6% to get that 1% interest profit when they loan out to people. So they set the interest rates, which affect the interest rates you see on like mortgages and stuff. But basically, if they raise the interest rate, there's going to be less money being borrowed. So it's going to, you know, versus like, you know, money being paid back. So there's going to be a slowdown of money entering the economy, and basically a constriction of the money supply. And if all we're using is that type of money and they constrict the money supply, it's not flowing anymore, helping facilitate transactions in the economy, we're going to have a bad time because nothing's moving in the economy. Trade's not being facilitated. And what's worse is with inflation, as they print, I mean, really, we could just get down to the bottom of it. It's like they print money, they bring it to the market, and then they buy a real resource with it. That's literally how it goes. And they'll just do it more and more and more. And as they're doing it, creating more and more of this fiat currency and telling us it's the only thing that's money and that we have to use it. They're basically just diluting the money that we have. So it's like an invisible tax, as Ron Paul says. It's just becoming worthless. And so they're just printing it. And then they'll go to the market and they'll buy actual resource. Like literally, like if you wanted to buy just real estate. Let's say you want to buy a freaking apartment complex. You can go to a bank and get a loan. You usually need like 20% as a down payment. And you can go get a loan, and the bank literally creates it on the spot. Fractional reserve banking, creating money, credit on the spot. And also the thing about it too is like there's preferential access with credit scores and stuff. And so really the richer people have more access to that credit. So they can go to the bank. The bank will just conjure up money right there. They go and they'll buy up an entire apartment complex or a downtown office building or land or whatever. And if it's a profitable business, if it's revenue generating asset, then it will usually pay for itself. All you gotta do is make sure that the interest rate that you borrowed at can be covered by whatever money that asset's making. And so you can literally buy a business, a piece of real estate, whatever, and it'll pay for itself. And all you need is access to that credit, which is preferential for rich people. You see what I'm saying? So that's like the beginning of it. We're talking about interest rates. If let's say they inflate the money, so the prices are really high for everything. If they wait. They print money, inflation occurs, and that usually happens when there's a low interest rate. They lower the interest rate, more people borrow, more money comes into the economy. That's inflation. So prices go up. But then if they, say, inflation's going up, and they want to curb inflation, they say, okay, let us raise interest rates to decrease the amount of money coming in, and all that does is constricts the money supply. So prices are high, money is less abundant, not flowing as much, and so a lot of businesses will start going bankrupt, unable to buy whatever it is that they need, their supplies to produce whatever it is they produce. Farmers, whatever, companies will start falling. You know what I mean? Because the whole supply chain, everything's high, but the money's constricted. And businesses start failing. And then guess who comes out of nowhere to buy up all that stuff? Random rich people who either already bought, either had preferential access to credit and bought up real assets, businesses, whatever. And now there's appreciation with real estate, businesses also. And they can sell off one of those businesses. And now that all these other businesses are going bankrupt, they're being sold for super cheap because they're going bankrupt. They can sell off an old business and buy up 100 of these little businesses. And then as soon as and if they also probably have insider information, that's how they do it, man. That's like Nancy Pelosi. She's $100 million net worth, but she's making $200,000 a year as a congresswoman because they got insider information. That's what they're doing. It should be illegal. That's treasonous. You know what I'm saying? They should be held super accountable. But so with that insider information, they know if interest rates are going to go back up or down, whatever. And if they know interest rates are high right now, can buy these assets, these businesses that are about to go out of business, super low for a super low price, and they know the interest rate is about to go back down, more money's going to come into the economy again. They know that those businesses can get back up and running. They know that the value of them will appreciate, and they just get richer. And then they basically just do it over and over. That's the business cycle. If you ever study economics, they'll talk about a business cycle. And that's essentially what it is. It's the Federal Reserve, at least in the United States, it's the Federal Reserve. Other countries have other central banks, and they do the exact same thing with fiat currency, fractional reserve banking, credit, and their money monopolies. That's what I'm saying. They'll tell you that this is the only thing that can be used as money. Their little fiat currency credit that they manipulate the interest rate on. So we're dependent on that type of money to keep our economy up and running. And then they're gonna play with the interest rates and the money supply, decrease the money supply, mess with prices, crash the entire economy, buy things up, make it, lower the interest rates, pump more money into the economy, values go back up, and they were super rich. And they just do it again, over and over again. Business cycle, they take advantage of it because they have insider information. They know what they're doing. They're playing this game like professionals. A lot of big companies will buy up smaller competitive companies, and that's how a lot of these markets have been consolidated. These bigger companies that could survive a downturn, which is again artificial. It's raising interest rates, constricting the money supply. A lot of little small businesses going bankrupt. So here comes a big company that's dominating. They'll say, okay, we'll buy it all, subsidiaries, and consolidate. And that's what it's been. There's been this corporate consolidation into just a handful of big companies. Then you got hedge funds. I mean, there's levels to this, but generally that's the problem with the monetary system. And then really, if you just go to the stock market, you can just look at these companies, and really how a lot of people have a crazy net worth is it's a bubble, because a lot of people, when their money is going down in value, that's a toxic asset. That's a depreciating asset. People don't want to be holding on to that. So they look for places to put their money. A lot of people put their money into real estate. And actually, the more people that do that, the more that's causing prices to go up, because people are bidding up prices, as Peter Schiff says. And it creates a bubble. Investors are buying from investors, and the price goes up and up and up. And people just trying to live in a home, they got to go to a bank to get a mortgage, and house prices are ridiculous. And it's like they're paying the rest of their life just to pay off the house. And that's because it's inflated. It's a bubble, and people are looking for places to put to hold their net worth in, basically. And I mean, like I said, if you're holding on to a depreciating dollar, you're an idiot, basically. I mean, really, right now the dollar's going down fast. And I mean, I could talk about the international situation. It's been held as a reserve currency since after World War II with Bretton Woods, and to help facilitate international transactions. But they're talking about dumping it and having like an international coalition called BRICS instead. And if they dump it, that's going to be a decrease in demand for the dollar internationally. The whole supply is going to be dumped. That's going to be a drastic decrease in the value of the dollar. And so, and if they're telling us that that's the only money that we're allowed to use, we're not allowed to use Bitcoin, gold, or silver, because they want to say stuff like criminals will launder money with it, blah, blah, blah. Like, they want to watch every transaction, bro. They want to make money digital so they can watch every single thing that you do. They want to track everything. They want to tax it at any. They can just click, take it out of you. It's not even real money, bro. That's what I'm saying too. It's like it's digits on a computer. They can just conjure it up, pretend like they did it legitimately. They go to the market. If that's what we're forced to use, that type of money, they can just conjure it up, pretend it's not legit. That's the problem with fractional reserve banking. Conjure it up, go to the market and buy up real assets, and that's what they're doing. They've robbed humanity, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I was trying to get to with the whole Larry Ellis thing. He probably did it through his company, and again, that's what I was gonna say. Stock market, something's listed. People just want somewhere to put their money, so they'll go into the stock market and bid up prices, and then these companies are bid up to crazy valuations. And next thing you know, somebody holding on to 10% of a $10 billion company has $1 billion, of value in that in stock in that company. Like, that's really why Elon Musk right now, they say he's the richest person on earth right now. They say he's worth like $200 million because he has like 20% of Tesla, because it got bid up like crazy. It's like $1 trillion market cap. It's crazy because they have a thing called what's it called? PE ratio, price to earnings ratio. It was like 1 to 20 or 20 to 1, something like that. And then like you had like a normal company's like Ford or something that was like 3 to 1. So basically the price was like 20 to 1 of what they actually earned, while like Ford, Volkswagen are like 4 or 5, like price to earnings ratio. So yeah, so it's a bubble, basically. That's what an investing bubble is. And a lot of these companies, like Elon's companies, like Tesla, they're just popular. He's a good hype man. I think that's why he bought Twitter. So he didn't need to advertise. He could just talk all day and have all these and promote all these little, little Twitter, whatever you want to call them, just fanboys or whatever, and promote because he'll do that. He'll talk to people that are like little Twitter fanboys and promote them and help them build a following. And then there's like this online kind of community that are promoting his companies, talking about what he's doing. That's just his way of marketing. But anyway, that's why his company's bid up to freaking $1 trillion valuation when its earnings are like way down here. You got Volkswagen Group, which like owns Lamborghini, Audi, like all these other companies. I don't know the actual earnings, but probably more than Tesla, I would guess. But the valuation is like way below. It's not rational, and that's basically what Warren Buffett said with value investing. Like Warren Buffett would look at Tesla, he says that's a bubble. Does Warren Buffett own Tesla right now? I don't think so. I don't know. But anyway, that's I think it was Benjamin Graham, value investing. He said the market's irrational. A lot of times it's overvalued, but sometimes it goes undervalued. If you find something that's undervalued, buy it, because eventually it'll either normalize or go irrational again, above what it's actually worth, and then you can sell and make profit. That's value investing in a nutshell. But my point was, that's how. So these people, preferential access to credit, banks, especially for rich people, they can buy up companies and they can build companies that eventually will be listed on the stock market or whatever. And then again, people who are holding on to dollars are like, crap, this is a toxic asset. Where do I put my money? Either real estate, whatever, stock market, and then they'll bid up the prices of all these assets crazy, which is going to eventually increase the net worth of all these billionaires or whatever. And then once it's way up there, that value's way up there, like I said, they can sell. And especially if it's again money, the money supply is being constricted, and there's an artificial crash happening in the economy, they could sell before that happens, and they time this. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Like Warren Buffett will sell, and everybody's like, "Damn, what's he selling for?" Like he knows some shit, and so he'll sell high because he knows it's probably about to be a crash. And guess what? He's gonna wait till it crashes, and he's gonna go buy up an entire island like Larry Ellis, or an entire sector of the economy. You see what I'm saying? And then they end up owning everything. They consolidate. They either buy it with their companies, consolidate everything, or they just own it personally. But it really got me when they're buying the homeland of these people. That like got me. I was like, dude, this is like these people's sacred land, and you just got some billionaire, and I know how this works. That's why I'm explaining. I know how the finance aspect of it works, and I know Larry Ellis with his multi-billion-dollar valuation. It's just financial tricks. That's all it is. And so the solution to this, like I said, it starts with the monetary system, is to have a free market of money. They tell us that only their little fiat, central bank, corrupt, fraudulent fractional reserve banking BS, where they have preferential access for rich people, they tell us that's the only thing that's money. And that's a freaking lie, because we can use anything to facilitate trade. As long as there's a group of people that are willing to use gold or silver or Bitcoin to facilitate trade, then that is a market of people that use that type of money that you can trade into and then trade out of for whatever it is that they're trading for that money. You see what I'm saying? So it could be gold, it could be silver, it could be Bitcoin, it could be Dogecoin, it could be any of those. And basically we can get rid of these central bank fraudulent money monopolies. The money monopolies, they basically force us to use their money, and then they just print it up, and because that's the only thing we're using as money, basically force to use it because we got to pay taxes with it. Or if you don't, you know what I'm saying? They like literally threaten you. It's extortion. Threaten you with jail if you don't freaking pay that. Use their money. They just conjure it out of nowhere, and they can, and since we're forced to use it, they can go to the market and buy up pretty much whatever they want. It's crazy. And I mean, I could get into more details. Like initially, when they conjure up money and they go to the market, prices are still low, so they can buy more with that amount of money. But then once the money actually gets, disseminated into the economy, the prices go up. So they're the first round who can buy when the prices are low, and by the time it gets around, prices go up, and the last people who get their hands on it are going to be having to deal with those higher adjusted prices for the new increased amount of money in the economy. It's a fucking scam. It's like the greatest scam. It's the biggest scam of all time, bro. Like financially. That's why I'm so pissed. I'm looking at the fucking video with these like locals, and they're just talking about, a billionaire came through and just bought up an entire island that was like these people's sacred land. It's like going to like buying a whole country or something. It's like, what? How are you gonna buy up a whole like thing like that, bro? And I know it's not legitimate. Like, some people are fools and they're like, oh well, these billionaires, they work for their money, so they deserve it. It's like, dude, if you understood the financial trickery, bro, you would know this is a scam, bro. So hopefully I laid it out pretty good, so y'all kind of got a gist at least. But the solution is to basically undermine their fake. Won't even say undermine. Literally, if we have a free market of money, we're using gold, we're using silver, we're using Bitcoin, Dogecoin, whatever other type of currency we want, or whatever. Like I said, if there's a group of people that are willing to trade with gold, then however big that group is, and how much gold there is, and there's details there. There's like available supply versus, there could be like a cornered market on gold, so there's just a small available supply, an artificial shortage, versus like a bunch of people trying to use it. That will cause the value of that gold to go up, and then the people who have cornered the market and are holding on to the mother lode of that supply, they can trickle in a little bit of gold here and there, and again be able to trade at that high valuation, like initially as it comes in, and then after it adjusts, the last people to get it are gonna have to they're gonna be having that gold at a lower valuation. You see what I'm saying? It's the same type of thing. It's just not fiat. Fiat could just be printed indefinitely. But yeah, as long as there's a group of people that are willing to use gold or silver or Bitcoin, that's a market for that type of money. And all we have to do is trade into it. Whatever we produce, labor, It could be freaking whatever, literally physical product, trade into gold or silver or Bitcoin. Those are just three I can think of right now. And then whoever uses any of those three, gold, silver, or Bitcoin, you can go trade that gold, silver, or Bitcoin to them for whatever it is they produce. And if you, let's say you trade for Bitcoin and there's something you want that, you know, the people that somebody else has, but they don't trade for Bitcoin, they don't use Bitcoin. It's just like going to another country. You want to buy something out of China, you got to trade for the Chinese currency to buy what it is that they produce in China. You can't just bring US dollars over there. It just doesn't work like that. So it's the same thing. You want to trade for something that somebody's producing, but they only use gold or silver. You got to trade, either just trade directly into that gold or silver, or trade into Bitcoin and trade that Bitcoin into gold or silver. It's the same thing. It's just currency exchange, basically. That's it. And we can trade with anything. And that's essentially what a free market of money is. And that's also why I say a free market of money. I don't just say, let's just use Bitcoin or gold or silver. A free market implies redundancy, multiple types of money going around. Like I said, you know, a market can be cornered on one type of money or another. And so, like, let's say, I would say the gold market right now actually is cornered. I actually wouldn't even suggest using that, really, because they've already consolidated most of the supply of gold in the world. And if there's just a small available supply and a whole bunch of people start trading with it, that's an increase in demand, artificial shortage, low supply, valuation of that gold is going to be way up. And then those people that have cornered the market can bring little bits of that gold at a time to the market at that super high valuation and do the same thing, buy up real resource with it. You see what I'm saying? It's very similar to the fiat scam. So I wouldn't even suggest that. Maybe silver's a little bit better. Bitcoin, I mean, honestly, it seems like that supply is kind of bought up too. But really anything. That's what I'm saying, free market of money. Because, again, that's why I'm explaining the parameters of money, like with the artificial shortage, stuff like that, cornered markets and stuff, and you know, changes in the supply and demand function, because it's something I think people need to understand to make a good choice of what type of money to use. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, a free market of money implies redundancy. It implies competition. And competition basically incentivizes the creation of better products. You see what I'm saying? So if we have a free market of money, there's redundancy, but then also competition between different types of currencies, different types of money, then there's going to be people who are incentivized to create better types of money that are either stable in value or going up in value. You can say it's like a limited or decreasing supply. So I like Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying? So basically, if people understand the parameters of money, like I said, supply and demand function, artificial shortages, stuff like that. Even if people are just saving all at once, then all of a sudden they decide to trade it. You know what I mean? And that's also something that just naturally occurs, you know, with investing. There's kind of these like spikes and then it goes down. It's like a roller coaster sometimes. So I mean, if people are trying to ride it for investment purposes, you're gonna see that. But a lot of times things stable out like you know, pretty well. Especially if people start trading for goods and services, because it's like a relative value that's established between all these different goods and different assets, different types of money that people are using to trade for goods and services. So eventually there'll be stability, especially if things are being traded directly, assets being traded directly for goods and services, assets which we are using as money. But anyway, free market of money, redundancy, competition, incentive for better types of money to be produced to come out of that market, and that's essentially what we need. And if people understand these parameters, they can look at fiat and see basically, I mean, in cryptocurrency terms, a fiat US dollar is a fucking shitcoin. It has a unlimited supply. It's printed willy-nilly. It goes into the hands of the people that have preferential access to the credit first, and they can go to the market and buy those low relative values, a low, you know, while the prices are still low for goods and services, they get a buy with that freshly printed money at that low price. And then by the time it circulates into the economy, prices are way up. So by the time you get your hands on it, prices are way up. So it doesn't even, it's an invisible tax, like Ron Paul has said. But So yeah, free market, redundant. So if anything gets messed around, any type of currency gets messed around, you got multiple different types that are still up and running. You see what I'm saying? I don't know what's going on behind me. Somebody's skidding around, working and stuff. I'm trying to make a video around here. Come on, chill. But redundancy, incentive, or competition, which breeds an incentive to create better monetary products, and then explaining these parameters so people can understand or what's a safe thing to actually hold on to. Like if you're gonna trade your labor for a type of money, you want to know if you can be holding on to that. If that's an appreciating asset or a depreciating asset, if it's toxic, you know what I'm saying? And naturally, if people understand these parameters, they'll see there are better choices like gold, silver, Bitcoin, whatever. Trade their labor for that. There'll be a whole market that builds around these. You can trade into it, trade for something else you need, or you can hold on to it, and it'll probably be appreciating in value. So instead of your dollar, a lot of people are literally just saving money in their retirement funds, and the dollar is going down in value. And they're literally holding on to a toxic, depreciating asset. And if the dollar crashes, they're going to be left holding the bag. The money that they spent their whole life working for, that's sitting in a retirement fund right now, is going to literally be worthless paper if the dollar crashes. That is robbery. Robbing a person of their entire lifetime of labor that they, with the money that they were going to use for retirement, it's now worthless. And that's why I've seen it. I've seen old people like 80 years old still working at like a grocery store and stuff. People getting ripped off blatantly. Entire freaking islands of people's native sacred land is being bought up by these financiers, these swindlers. I feel some type of way about that. When I see an old lady working at the grocery store that can barely walk, I feel some type of way about it. When I see sacred land just being bought up just by some billionaires that don't respect it at all. That's the thing about me. I'm like a naturalist. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, nah, these are just scumbags. I don't know Larry Ellis personally, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But from what I heard, it seems like he just wants it so he can have a little private island and probably bring his buddies over there. Who knows? It doesn't seem like they got any respect for the natives, anything. That's sacred heritage, and they're just robbing the whole world of their labor, their land, everything, their natural resource. People being robbed by these financiers, though, and it's terrible. So a free market of money, I guess you could say it undermines the funky bullshit fiat currency system we have. And I just think naturally, if people understand the parameters of money, we have better options. Again, redundancy, competition, options. People are going to use the better options, and it'll just naturally, crappy shitcoin fiat will die in atrophy. People just abandon it. It'd be worthless paper and whatever. Fuck all your, whatever they want to talk about. Oh, $300 trillion in debt of made up currency. We don't give a fuck. It's worthless paper. It's worthless digits on a computer. Go fuck yourself. We don't give a fuck. That's worthless paper. And that's the problem too. They just print it up. It's worthless nothing, but they're really going to the market and buying up real resource. But so by the end of the day, by the time the fucking dollar turns to nothing, it's just fucking paper. Literally worthless digits on a fucking computer. Everybody says fuck it. It was just made up anyways. Monopoly money. Look who actually owns shit at the end of the day. These fucking billionaire fucking swindlers buying up entire swaths of the economy, fucking land, everything. We're left with nothing. We've been robbed at the end of the day with their fucking fake ass currency. Bro, this is the heist of the motherfucking millennium, bro. This ain't even just like the century. This is like the millennium. This banking shit's been going on for centuries. It's the heist of the fucking millennium. The entire world has been robbed. And they want to act like they own shit righteously. They want to act like they're big dogs, like they fucking run this shit. This shit is the shit that our ancestors built. Do you understand that shit? Our fucking ancestors built all this fucking infrastructure. We did the fucking labor. We mined up all the natural resource. Fucking built everything, invented everything. All this technology, this is our fucking ancestors. It's our inheritance. And they're trying to just do some fucking little manipulative swindling shit and act like they righteously own everything. No, you're fucking thieves. It's the type of shit, man. It's the type of shit. So I feel obligated to explain this. It's fucked up. It's a fucked up world. It's been the heist of the motherfucking millennium, bro. Not even a century. It's been multiple centuries of this shit. Of the fucking millennium. It might go back multiple millennia. Shit, the fucking, what did Jesus do when he came into Jerusalem? He flipped the money changers table. He said, what the fuck y'all doing, you fucking manipulative pieces of shit? He did. Jesus was supposed to be like a nice guy. And even he saw that shit, was like, what the fuck's wrong with y'all? Fucking flip the table. Y'all scumbags. You're fucking parasites. Doing your fucking conjuring up money and then just sucking off all of our productivity. That's what they are. They're fucking the parasitic elite. That's what I call them. Fucking scumbags. And they're just buying up all this fucking swaths of the economy, swaths of land, acting like they righteously own that shit. It just fucking fuck the people whose fucking ancestors lived on that land, and we're just gonna develop it and make a little fucking resort for ourselves. They're fucking parasites, dude, and they expect us to fucking work for them at their fucking resorts and shit. They're fucking robbing us of our labor. The labor that should be going into our communities to build our communities, that we should be making our lives better with, is going toward their fucking resorts. We're fucking... Hey, person, shut the fuck up. I know you feel my emotion, but don't mean you gotta get all fucking stupid around me. I need people to direct this fucking energy of annoyance and whatever the fuck y'all feeling right now. That I'm feeling, if y'all feeling what I'm saying, direct this shit the right fucking direction. Look at how these motherfuckers have been ripping y'all off, ripping everybody off. This is our inheritance. This is the multi-generational group project of our species. I call it the human endeavor. It's the natural infrastructure of planet Earth. It's God-given. And then we have had generations of people that have worked this land, built on this land to give us all this technology, this infrastructure that we have. Okay, this is our inheritance that we're supposed to still be building on. We cannot let a fucking handful of scummy little fucking parasitic people that know how to work some finance fucking swindle everybody out of it. Leave you with nothing. We produce everything. All of this stuff, all the natural resource, our labor, everything should be going toward ourselves, our own communities, to make our standard of living better, not for their overindulgent lifestyles. Serving them. They're not our masters. They are parasites. They're swindlers. They're criminals. We should not be serving them. It is not righteous. Y'all understand that? I need y'all to understand that. It has been the heist of the millennium. I need y'all to understand that. Alright, I'm gonna chill, because I know people are feeling my emotions. You know, people inside probably hearing me right now. So I gotta chill out. Alright, before somebody calls the cops, hey, this guy's just going off right now. Alright, no. All that energy, I'm telling you, I'm bringing this energy for a reason. Hopefully y'all feel that. Direct it where it needs to go. Be mad about the right things. That's a powerful thing. If you're mad, means you're gonna do something about it. When you're sad about it, means you just gave up and you're depressed. Why? No, be fucking mad and direct it toward the right fucking things. I gotta go. My brother's don't know. He probably thinks, if he heard me talking right now, he probably think I'm crazy. I gotta go. Peace. Direct it toward the fucking right things. You have been fucking ripped off the fucking heist of the motherfucking millennium. Get it through your fucking head. Quit playing. Quit acting like this shit's all good. It's fucking not. Y'all been played. We've been played. Let's fix this.